everyone, I'm Susie and I run Sunlight Studio, which is a photography studio just outside of Bristol. I specialise in motherhood photography, so everything from bumps to newborns to families. I'm there to capture every little part of your journey. And I know a lot of you at the moment haven't been able to get out and have your maternity and your newborn photo shoots because of everything that's going on. So I wanted to create this little video for you just to give you some great tips for capturing both your bump and your newborn baby at home. So I've recorded this in my house to give you the best reflection possible of what the photos can look like for you too. And everything that I take today is going to be using my phone. I have an iPhone 11, but to be honest, you can do it with any phone at all. So alongside my phone, I'm going to be using one of these little shutter releases. So all you do is connect this via Bluetooth to your phone, click the button, and it takes the photo for you. So it's really, really easy, and you can get these for literally £2, £3, £4 on eBay. Just type in iPhone camera remote to eBay and they will come up, and they come in all different colours too. So first of all, we are going to have a little look at capturing maternity photos. So in your home, you need to find a really nice light space. So if you've got any double doors like I've got here, that works perfectly. It's a really bright day today, so I've just put up these white curtains. Apologies if they're a little bit creased because I just got them out of the packet. But that just helps soften the light because you want to avoid any really bright light. For example, if I open these, you'll see just how shadowy that makes my skin. Whereas when they're closed, it's a nice, soft, even light. If you're doing this when the sun is on the other side of your house, or if it's a cloudy day, then you don't need the curtains, you can just have an open window there. And then it's great to have a plain wall. You can always hang up a sheet, so you could stick some little command hooks up on your wall, get a big white double locking size bed sheet and just clip it onto it, and then that will create a really simple background for you as well. So there's always options if you don't have plain walls in your home. So once you've found the spot in your home you're going to use, I would get yourself wearing something that you feel really comfortable in. I love maxi dresses over bumps, but it could be anything. You could be in underwear and you could get a cardigan and shrug it off your shoulders, or you can be fully clothed, or you could do a little mixture. Have a little play around, and remember that no one else has to see these photos. So if you don't feel that confident, I would say go for it anyway, and then you can always keep them for yourself in the future, because looking back in the future, you may still really, really like the photos. So obviously I'm not pregnant at the moment, so I don't have a bump. So you're just gonna have to imagine that I have one there when I'm showing you how to pose. So regardless of what you're photographing, it's always nice to have the light coming in at the side of you. This is just really flattering, creates really lovely shadows on this side of your body, and will mean you'll get some really lovely photos. So with bump photos, I always advise my clients to face the side, just because then you'll get your really lovely silhouette of your bump here. Another tip is to always pop up the front leg, because if you look, if I had a bump here, going like that, you can look a bit slouchy, whereas as soon as you pop a leg up, you can sink back into it and feel a lot more comfortable. So one hand I would always put above and one hand below. You could do both hands above, you could do both hands below. My main advice when you're taking the photos would always be to keep moving. This will help make them look really natural. So you can look down at your bump, you can laugh out the window, you can play with your hair. Even if you feel awkward, just keep moving, because again, you're only going to pick your favourites out of these photos, so it doesn't matter too much what the outtakes look like. So once you're ready, face your window, pop that front leg up, hands around bump, and then you can put this in the hand that's kind of under your bump so that you can't see that you've got the remote in your hand, because then you can press it like this and nobody can see that it's in your hand. Other places that you could put it is, you could put, if you were facing the camera, you could put your hand on your hip and have your hand under or over your bump, and you could have it there. Or if you had your hand up in your hair, you could have it between your thumb and the palm of your hand there. And then you just start shooting. So I'm going to take a few test shots now, and I'll speed it up so you can see exactly what I'm doing. Once you've taken a few photos from further back, you can come a little bit closer, play with how close you are to the camera, and have a little experiment. You can go face on and get a nice close-up of your bump as well. This is especially nice if you are wearing underwear, and you can get nice and close in and just take some lovely pictures of your bump up close. You can go to the side up close. If you're brave enough to do some shots in your underwear, which I would definitely encourage because it is really lovely to see exactly what your tummy was like when you were pregnant, then a good tip to feel a little bit more covered up is to get a cardigan. You can also use a baggy shirt, you can steal one from your partner, any type of jacket really. And then what you can do is get into position and you can shrug it off of your shoulders, because then you can hold the bottom and you can put it under your bump here. So you've got your leg bent up, cardigan is ruched around here, and then this just helps to hide your pants a little bit so you feel a little bit more covered up and potentially a little bit more comfortable. So the main things to remember when you're taking your bump photos are having the light next to you, popping up that front leg, hands on tummy and looking down. It's really, really simple, and I know people find maternity photography so daunting, but I say to all of my clients that it's honestly the easiest time in your life for posing, because when else do you have the perfect thing to do with your hands and the perfect thing to look at, and just having those really natural moments are amazing. So now I'm going to move on to newborn photography at home. So I would have loved to use my niece for this as a little model, but with everything going on, obviously we're not allowed to see them. So I have baby Mickey here today, who is going to help to show you some really, really simple tips for photographing your newborn babies at home when they arrive. So we're going to use the same spot in your house as you did for the maternity shots. What you want to do is you want to get a surface on the floor that you can lie your baby down on. So this could be as basic as a sofa cushion, it could be a footstool, it could be a bean bag. If you wanted to do them upstairs, then you could absolutely use your bed. If you had a window like this next to your bed and your bed is here where this sideboard is, then that would be perfect. You can just lay your baby down on your bed there. I'm going to use a footstool just to show you in this spot exactly how it can work. So I've brought my footstool over and popped it next to my window here. Just because this has quite a lot of texture to it, I'm going to cover it with a blanket to create a really nice plain background for these photos. So normally at the studio I would use a plain white background. However, I'm just using what I've got at home, so it's a really honest representation of this. So this is just a grey and white striped blanket. So you want your baby ideally to be really, really sleepy. You can also get some really nice awake shots with them, but for most of my newborn photography, I do try and get them to be asleep. So as you're at home, you can spend some time relaxing with them, cuddling them on the sofa, and a good position to have them in is to get them to fall asleep on your chest like this. Because once they fall asleep like this, it means that you can come over to your surface, have it all prepped and ready before you get your baby to go to sleep. And then you can gently lay them down on here. Now, I would always put them either with their head towards the light or slightly turned to the side like this, so the light is coming into the side of them. But I always have the heads tipped slightly more to the light just because it's a little bit more flattering. As soon as you turn them around like this, you'll get the light coming up their nose and it just won't be as flattering. Another tip before you put your baby down is to warm up the surface. So you could use a hot water bottle or wheat bag just so that the transfer from skin to cushion isn't quite as severe as if this wasn't heated. Once they're in place, you can grab your phone. You don't need your remote this time because you're just going to take them yourself. Just have a play around, have fun with it. Don't put too much pressure on yourself, and if your baby won't go to sleep, then just embrace the shots of them awake. So when it comes to the position of the photos, I always take a lot of photos from above just because you can see their lovely faces. You can go in quite close and get the detail shots, and you can also come to this side and photograph from here, and you get a lovely silhouette shot of them against the window then as well. So once you finish taking your photos, the next step is to edit them. So this is all going to be done on our phones again. I personally use the Adobe Lightroom app for editing my photos. This app is completely free and it gives you control over things like the exposure, the brightness, the contrast, the colour, everything like that, so you can really make your images pop that little bit more. If you would like some more details on editing and how best to do that, then you can head over to my website, which is sunlightportraitstudio.co.uk, and you can download my free guide on there, which gives you a little bit more in detail about the editing process and how to make your photos look that even a little bit better. I will also be recording a video to help you guys with editing your in-home maternity and newborn photos, and I will use the photos that I've taken today to do that actually. So if you head over to Instagram and give me a follow, I am at Suzi Bird Photo. You can keep an eye out there for when I release that video, which will be in about a week or so. Thank you so much for taking the time to watch the video, and I hope it was really helpful. If anybody's got any questions, then just pop them in the comments below and I can get back to you. And yeah, good luck to everybody who is still to give birth. Make sure you photograph your lovely bump before it disappears. And to everybody with newborns, I hope you're all getting on really well with everything that's going on.